Next up for review is our multiplication of numbers, 2-digit, 3-digit. We're starting with just a simple one of 25 times 6. So what you have to know is you always go to the bottom of this, and you go to the far right of the bottom. Now in this it doesn't matter because the only one on the bottom of this multiplication question is a 6. But sometimes there will be 2 numbers or 3 numbers. You always start from the far right bottom. So in this case it's the 6, but it's the only number there. Then you're going to multiply from right to left. So the first thing we do is multiply 6 times 5. 6 times 5 is 30. Like addition, you can only put one number in each row underneath. So we put the 0 from the 30, and we have to carry the 3. We're going to come back and add that later, but first we have to multiply that 6 times 2. 6 times 2 is 12. Then we add on the 3 to make it 15. Because there are no more numbers to multiply, we can put down the answer of 15. If there were any more numbers up there, we would keep carrying. So let's take a look at our next one. So that one's done. Let's take a look at our next one. Remember, when we multiply, you start at the bottom right. So we're going to start at this 5 of the 15. And we're going to multiply starting on the far right of the top numbers. So our first thing to do is 5 times 3, and that's 15. You can only put one of the 2 numbers there, so we put the 5 and carry the 1, and we'll need it later. Now we're going to multiply 5 times 2. 5 times 2 is 10. Add that 1. Don't forget about that 1. So 5 times 2 is 10 plus 1 is 11. There's no more to do in that column, so you can put the 11 in there. Now we get to something we just looked at today. We're going to have to go to this 1 in the tens column. We've already multiplied the 5 out. So what we're going to do is multiply this one here and this one here. There's a small trick, however. Every time you go over one place value in your multiplication question on the bottom, you have to add 0 as a placeholder in the middle of the question. So now I put a 0 there just to start. And this is something you have to remember to do, a little exclamation mark beside it. And now you simply multiply. So 1 times 3 is 3, and 1 times 2 is 2. There were no carries to do, so you just write them down. Now it just becomes an addition question because we have 5 plus 0 is 5, 1 plus 3 is 4, and 1 plus 2 is 3. And that's basically how you do a multiplication question out long. I'm going to put 1 more or 2 more up there, and then it just is strictly practice. It doesn't matter how many numbers we have up there. And I also have to show you a little bit what to do with the decimal. It's really, really simple. But we'll show you a couple more right now. Here's your next 2, and we do them the same way. Remember, the goal when we're doing this is to start with the far right on the bottom. So we would be starting with the 6. And we're going to multiply starting on the top right, and we're going to multiply all of these numbers that are on top. So first we'll do 6 times 5, that's 30. We can't put 2 numbers down on the bottom in our answer, so we have to carry that 3 up there. 6 times 7 is 42, and we add the 3. Don't forget about the 3. It becomes 45. Again, you can only put the 5 down. You have to carry the 4. 6 times 4 is 24. Don't forget to add that 4 in. That's 28, and it's done like this. Now remember, there was a trick, something we had to do right here in this next column, and it was to put 0 as a placeholder. We haven't done anything. You just put a 0 right there. Now I'm just going to switch colors. You take this 2 and you multiply it here, here, and here. You can kind of scribble those out a little bit. We don't need them anymore, and we might have a different number when we do this. So now we have 2 times 5 is 10. We can put a 0 down. We carry a 1. That's why I scribbled out that 3, because we're no longer looking at a 3. We're looking at carrying the 1. 2 times 7 is 14, plus 1 is 15. We put the 5 there. We carry the 1. 2 times 4 is 8, plus 1 is 9. Put that there, put a line underneath it, and we are going to start adding. 0 plus 0 is 0, 5 plus 0 is 5. 8 plus 5 is 13. We have to carry the 1 because we have more to do. 1 plus 2 is 3. Plus 9 is 12. And because there are no more numbers to add, now you can put 2 digits in your answer. So the answer here is 12,350. Our last one we're going to do has some decimals in it. You do everything the same until it comes time for your final answer, and we'll show you the trick of multiplying decimals. So here we go. Remembering when we do these, we are going to start at the bottom far right and multiply everything up. Ignore those decimals to start with. 5 times 2 is 10. 0. Carry the 1. 5 times 4 is 20. Plus 1 is 21. Carry the 2. 5 times 3 is 15. Plus 2 is 17. There's no more to do, so you're allowed to put 2 digits there. With multiplication, your next step is to put 0 as a placeholder right there. This is important. This is where a lot of kids make their mistake. They simply forget to do it. 1 times 2. Oh, we're going to just switch colors so you can see what's going on. We're going to multiply all of these. You do not have to put the arrows in, by the way, unless it makes you feel happy and helps you out with this today. 1 times 2 is 2. 1 times 4 is 4. And 1 times 3 is 3. And you can see how well all my columns line up. And that is so important for later. Anyhow, 0 plus 0 is 0. 1 plus 2 is 3. 7 and 4 is 11. Put the 1 there. Carry the 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. Plus 3 is 5. Your answer is 5130. But we have forgotten about the decimals. So here's your trick, guys. What you do is you count how many decimal places in both your numbers. So you go 1, 2. There's 2 decimal places at the top number. 1 more there makes 3. You simply go to your answer and remember that you had 3 decimal places up top, so you move that decimal 3 places on the bottom answer. This number would be 5.130 as your final answer. Remember, it's just practice, and we're going to try some division.